I don't think they're a great gift.
I've gotten you them as a gift.
I know. Welcome to the channel. I'm Matt. I'm a whiskey nerd.
My name is Rose, and I'm a whiskey noob. And I'm also a little confused as to why the glasses are empty. And I've tried that whiskey before.
Yes. Well, let me first go get something because we're going to be today looking at whiskey stones and ice.
Okay, cool.
So, Rose, this is ice.
Yeah.
And these are whiskey stones. Do you know what whiskey stones are?
Stones that the whiskey god has bestowed upon man.
Sort of. Now, can you confirm, is that cold?
Yes, that is cold.
Okay, these just came out of the freezer. So let's pop these into the glass and
This
pop
is
that in
also
there.
cold.
Now we're going to do a little comparison.
Okay.
Because the idea of whiskey stones is that they will chill down your whiskey without diluting it. Because some people don't like when their whiskey is diluted.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah, fair enough.
So we're going to give it a try.
Okay.
So we are approaching Christmas. I know it's still a bit early, but we are getting close to Christmas, and one of the things that people often buy as a gift for whiskey lovers is whiskey stones, because they see them in stores. People say, oh, this must be a great gift for a whiskey lover. I don't think they're a great gift.
I've gotten you them as a gift.
I know. I think that they're not that great of a gift. I think they're not as useful as ice if you want to cool down a drink. I think dropping them into a glass, sometimes you can break a glass. Well, I'm not the biggest fan of whiskey stones.
Okay.
And to explain why, I'm going to have to unfortunately tell you a little bit of science.
Oh gosh, okay.
I know, right? So when things are cold, they cool things down around them. That makes sense.
Basics.
Right. But ice is a bit more effective than whiskey stones. Do you know why?
Yep.
No, because when you want to change something's form, from solid to a liquid, I'll be quick.
Yeah.
From solid to a liquid or a liquid to a gas, it takes energy.
Okay.
Right? That energy has to come from somewhere. In this case, it's heat energy.
Okay, where's heat come from?
Heat comes from the air or from here. That's
Alright,
why if you drop an ice cube outside, you drop an ice cube into a tub of boiling water.
Yeah.
Ice cube in boiling water is going to melt faster.
Alright, cool. Yeah.
Makes sense. When ice is melting, it cools down the liquid around it, and then it stops melting because everything around it is 0 degrees and nothing can melt.
Oh, so it just kind of cools it down to itself.
Yes, and then once the liquid, in this case the whiskey, goes back above 0 degrees, what happens is that heat energy gets taken back by the ice, it melts, it releases more water, and then it's all 0 degrees again.
Okay.
Whiskey stones can't do that because they're not going to change from a solid to a liquid.
Yeah.
They can't melt.
Okay.
At least not unless you heat them up a lot. So they can only cool down so much, whereas ice will cool down a bit longer.
Okay. So if you want a cooler drink, ice is the way to go.
Yes, but that dilution is a problem for some people at least.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a little sip, see how they change, see how they taste, see if the water is making a difference, and then we're going to see if the whiskey stones keep the drink as cold as long as the ice.
Okay, cool. Let's do this.
Okay, so you have a sip of that one, I'll have a sip of this one.
Alright.
And we'll change.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay. Switch it up. I've got the whiskey stones. They do look cool though.
Oh, they do look cool.
There's a huge difference.
Yeah?
Yeah. So this is way less cold. It's
Yeah.
almost like close to room temperature still. This is significantly colder.
Feel these now. That's been what, like 2-3 minutes maybe since you
like
last
they're
held?
still cold, but they're not as cold.
And this ice is still ice. That's still 0 degrees.
It looks way colder. Like they look cool.
They just, and that's all the whiskey stones you get in a pack. They just don't keep it as cold for as long.
Yeah.
So if you are someone who likes a drink to be cold for longer, I don't think whiskey stones will work.
Yeah, like the whiskey stones kind of seem like they might be a good idea for a gift or something. They look cool, but like the ice gets significally colder.
Yeah.
Like it dilutes it a bit, but sometimes like some whiskeys taste nicer with a little dilution. But I guess if you're drinking, but what do you do if you want a whiskey that's cool, but you don't like it with any dilution?
Okay. So what we'll do now is just have a little taste again. Can you taste much of a difference between the whiskey that's been diluted with a bit of ice?
Okay.
So have a sip of the whiskey stones first.
All right, here we go. Ooh. Okay. difference.
Yeah, like this is kind of thicker and more syrupy because it hasn't got the water out to it yet.
Yeah.
Whereas that, it's colder definitely, but also a little bit lighter in taste. So
yeah,
I think just the problem with whiskey zones is that you just don't cool it down long enough. Like this is essentially room temperature, whereas as you can probably see, there's already frosting on this. I mean, I just don't see the point of whiskey stones. I mean, they just don't cool down the drink fast enough. They don't cool it down for long enough. Now they do, of course, they do save you for that dilution, but
like, what's the solution if you want a cold drink but you don't want the dilution then?
So some things that I've seen, especially in cocktail bars, they'll put their whiskey into a freezer. So they'll actually put this into the fridge or into the freezer because it's not going to freeze. It's 40% alcohol. This is 43% alcohol. And they'll cool it down so it's ready to go into a cocktail.
Okay.
But it won't dilute it. So especially if you're making like an old fashioned where maybe you want it to be cold, it's very spirit forward. So you just want to cool it down.
Okay.
You keep it in the freezer.
Yeah.
You could also, I've seen some bars do this where they put their glassware.
Yeah, I was about to say, because I've had cold glasses before.
Yeah. So some bars, some cocktail bars, what they do is if they get a drink and they shake it over ice, when they strain it out, they will remove the ice. But if they put it into a glass that's already cold, that way there's no more heat that can go into the drink, it won't warm it up, so it'll stay colder for longer.
That explains why I've had cold glasses at bars then.
Yeah, because they'll just put them into the fridge or the freezer, so the drink is basically being cooled by the glass instead of by anything else.
Okay, that makes sense. I mean, that might be the best bet, really, if you don't want dilution, but a cold glass or cold drink.
So, as a wrap up, can we safely say I'm not getting whiskey stones this Christmas?
Yes, especially since I've already gotten them for you, and apparently you secretly hate it.
Secretly, don't secretly hate them. I very publicly hate them.
Fine, no whiskey stones this year.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to get someone a whiskey gift for Christmas, it's probably best just to get them a nice bottle of whiskey.
Or a nice glass.
Or some nice glasses.
A nice glass.
Yeah, like check out our video on whiskey glasses if you want to see what's a good kind of whiskey glass, what are different types of whiskey glasses.
Yeah.
We might do a video on how to buy whiskey for someone. If you want to see that, let us know in the comments below.
Okay.
If you're new here, scroll down, hit thumbs up, hit subscribe. If you want to see more like this, we put out videos every Monday, Wednesday and Friday, so subscribe and you'll see them all. So until next time, sláinte.
Bye bye.